High blood pressure doesn't knock on the door. It doesn't ask for permission. And it doesn't come with pain, at least not at first. That's what makes it dangerous. Most men expect a warning before something serious happens. A sharp pain, a loud signal, a moment that says, now you need to pay attention. High blood pressure doesn't work like that. It lives quietly in the background, while you're working, while you're driving, while you're taking care of everyone else but yourself. You can still function, still provide, still show up, and that's why it's ignored. Men don't stop when something feels fine. They stop when something breaks. By the time blood pressure announces itself, it often does so through consequences. A stroke, a heart attack, kidney damage, or a moment that permanently changes a family's future. And this isn't about fear. It's about awareness. A disciplined man understands something simple. What you don't feel can still destroy you. High blood pressure isn't a sudden enemy. It's a slow erosion of strength, clarity, and time. And ignoring it isn't toughness. It's delayed responsibility. Quiet discipline begins long before symptoms appear, long before a doctor's emergency tone, long before your family is forced to worry. Because the strongest men don't wait for warnings. They pay attention in silence. High blood pressure is often misunderstood. Most men think it comes from one thing, stress. But the truth is quieter than that. It builds from years of small choices, sleeping too little, eating in a rush, moving less than you used to, living on stimulation instead of recovery. None of these feel dangerous on their own. That's why they pass unnoticed. Blood pressure rises not from one bad day, but from thousands of ordinary ones. A man carries pressure long before it shows up on a machine. Pressure to provide. Pressure to stay strong. Pressure to never slow down. And slowly, the body adapts, until adaptation turns into damage. High blood pressure is not a failure of strength. It is a signal of imbalance. Your heart works harder than it should. Your blood vessels stiffen quietly. Your nervous system stays alert when it should rest. And because you can still function, you tell yourself it's fine. But discipline is not about waiting until you collapse. It's about recognizing strain before it becomes injury. A disciplined man checks the load he is carrying, not because he is weak, but because he plans to last. Ignoring pressure doesn't make you tougher. It just shortens the time you can protect what matters. One of the most dangerous words in men's health is normal. I feel normal. I'm still working. I'm still functioning. High blood pressure hides behind that word. Because it doesn't stop you immediately. It lets you keep going, while quietly increasing the risk with every passing year. Many men only discover their blood pressure is high during unrelated moments, a routine check, a work medical exam, or after something serious has already happened. By then, the number isn't new. Only the awareness is. The body can compensate for a long time. It raises pressure to keep blood flowing. It tightens vessels to maintain output. And because this compensation works, you mistake survival for health. Normal becomes the baseline for damage. What's dangerous isn't the spike. It's the constant elevation. Day after day, the heart pushes harder. The vessels lose flexibility. Organs receive blood under stress. This is how strokes happen without warning. This is how heart attacks arrive on ordinary days. This is how men collapse in moments that were supposed to be routine. Quiet discipline means refusing to define health by performance alone. Just because you can still work doesn't mean your body is not paying a price. A disciplined man doesn't ask, "Can I still push through?" He asks, "What is this costing me over time?" Because the goal isn't to survive today. It's to remain capable tomorrow. High blood pressure doesn't attack weakness. It wears down strength. That's why so many affected men are the reliable ones, the ones who show up every day, the ones who carry responsibility without complaint. They don't collapse early, they endure. And endurance, when unmanaged, becomes risk. A man can be strong for a long time while his system is slowly being overworked. The heart adapts by pushing harder. The vessels adapt by becoming stiffer. The brain adapts by tolerating higher pressure. Adaptation looks like resilience, but it isn't. It's strain held in silence. This is why high blood pressure feels invisible. There is no single moment of failure, no dramatic signal, just a quiet narrowing of margins, less room for error, less recovery, less tolerance when stress spikes. Eventually, one ordinary moment is enough. A stressful conversation, a rushed morning, a skipped meal, a poor night of sleep. And the system that has been compensating for years has nothing left to give. Quiet discipline means understanding that strength must be protected, not exploited. You don't prove toughness by ignoring wear. You prove wisdom by maintaining capacity. A disciplined man doesn't wait until his strength is taken from him. He preserves it, so he can continue to lead, provide, and remain present. Because the goal isn't to be strong once, it's to stay strong without breaking. High blood pressure is not managed in emergencies. It is managed in routines. Long before a doctor raises his voice, long before medication becomes mandatory, long before fear enters the room. Quiet discipline shows up in small, unremarkable choices. Going to sleep when the day's unfinished, moving the body even when motivation is low, eating in ways that support the heart instead of exciting the tongue. None of this looks impressive. That's why it works. A disciplined man doesn't wait for panic to force change. He adjusts early, calmly, and consistently. He measures what needs to be measured. He rests when rest is required. He treats prevention as responsibility, not inconvenience. Because health maintained quietly is strength that never needs to be explained. High blood pressure rewards consistency, not intensity. You don't fix it with one perfect week. You don't offset years of neglect with a sudden burst of effort. What matters is what you repeat when no one is watching, checking your numbers even when you feel fine, choosing calm over stimulation at the end of the day, letting the body recover instead of demanding more from it. This kind of discipline feels slow. It feels almost invisible. But invisibility is its strength, because while nothing dramatic is happening, damage is being prevented. A disciplined man understands that prevention has no applause. No one praises you for the stroke you didn't have. No one celebrates the crisis that never arrived. But your family benefits anyway. Your body benefits anyway. Your future benefits quietly. You don't wait for your health to scare you into change. You change so your health never has to scare you. That is leadership without noise. That is discipline before the doctor's voice. High blood pressure doesn't announce itself. It never has. That's why responsibility comes before symptoms, before fear, before regret. A disciplined man doesn't wait for pain to teach him. He listens to what is quiet. He checks what others ignore. He slows down before damage forces him to stop. He protects his future in ways no one applauds. This isn't about obsession. It's about respect. for the body that carries his work, for the family that depends on his presence, for the years he still intends to live fully. You don't need a warning to act. You need clarity. Because strength that lasts is built by men who pay attention early. And discipline, when practiced quietly, prevents conversations you never want to have.